Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made this card. This is an idea that I got on Pinterest, and so I made the card pretty much the way it showed on Pinterest. And let me tell you who the person was. A lady by the name of Lisa Curcio and Lisa's Stamp Studio. I followed the link and that's where it went. And this is close to the way she made the first one. And today I'm going to show you, when you find something like that, how you can take it and really kind of change it up. So today I'm going to be using Tip Top Taupe, and I'm going to be using some designer series paper from the Falling in Love designer series paper, and I'm going to be using some elegant eggplant and some very vanilla, and I'm going to be using the new doilies that we have that are white on one side and cream or vanilla on the other side. I have these cards going both directions because of course I didn't stamp properly, and so I turned the page around, and so I ended up making it with the paper going in opposite directions. And I have to say I kind of like both of them. I think they came out good. So I'm going to just set those aside here so you can kind of keep an idea. The color scheme on this one is smoky slate, crushed So Saffron. Smoky slate and So Saffron, and that's all of the colors I used. And this background piece was Whisper White. And I used two embossing folders on this one. I used the Petal Burst folder on the back, and then I used, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's got lacy circles on it, and but those are the pieces that I used to make this one. So today I am using Tip Top Taupe, and this is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of Very Vanilla, and this one measures 4 by 5 1/4, and this one is for the inside of the card. Then I have a piece of Elegant Eggplant that measures 1 inch by 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of DSP from the Falling in Love designer series pack that measures 3 3/4 by 4 7/8. So 4 7/8 by 3 3/4. And I'll show you what we're going to do. The stamp set I'm using today is from the First Sight stamp set. I love this little flourish, so I'm using this flourish, which I've got mounted here, and if I need to fill in spaces, I'm using that little set of leaves that sort of goes with that, and that's what I'm using from this stamp set. And so let's just get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is run my card front and my little strip through the embossing folder. And here I used a different one. I'm going to use the same embossing folder on both pieces, and one of them I'm going to invert. So I'm going to go run these through the embossing folders, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I used this Petal Burst folder, and what I did was I put the whole card front itself inside the folder and just ran it through that way, and that way I got my texture on the front piece of the card. Then I ran my strip of Elegant Eggplant through, also through this, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use the reverse side or the debossed side on the card. And so I'll just set those aside. You know, when something is more just one layer without lots of pieces to it, it's called a clean and simple. And I use clean and simple when the impact is big enough. Otherwise, I think it needs the layers and some of the other embellishments to make it more interesting. But running this front panel through the embossing folder is as good, in my opinion, as adding another layer that has this embossed piece on the top. And I have my DSP cut, and I'm going to show you how to get this interesting little diagonal piece on your piece of paper. And so what I did was I took my trimmer and I marked with a pencil at the 1-inch mark from the short side. This piece measures 3.75 by, I think I said 5 7/8. So I marked 1 inch here with a pencil, and then I turned it on the long side and I marked that again at 1 inch. And so now I'm going to place my piece of paper here with my pencil mark in the channel here, and then my other pencil mark down below. So I've got both pieces in the cutting channel, and I'm going to slice that piece off. Then I'm going to go from my pencil mark on the bottom here to the corner of this piece. So setting that so that that pencil line and this corner meet. Now, when you're cutting on a diagonal and you have to come up on the point, it's real easy to pull the paper up and get it to wrinkle up. So what I do is I put my blade more in the middle, cut down, and then cut up. And that way you miss, it's a more sure cut, if you will. Okay, and now I'm going to take this opportunity to erase my little pencil marks. And there we have our shape. Next, I think we'll do a little bit of stamping. And we needed a piece, I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but a piece of scrap vanilla and a piece of scrap of the elegant eggplant. And what I'm going to do here is bring in my elegant eggplant ink, and my flourish. It's kind of a big stamp, but I love the idea of this elegant eggplant on this taupe. And some of you saw that on a box that I did, I used this stamp on the elegant eggplant, or on the Tip Top Taupe designer series paper, and I just love the effect. So I am just going to randomly put this eggplant, elegant eggplant flourish, all over this stamp, or all over this paper. It is just such a pretty stamp, and it's got enough straight angles that you can pretty well get it just about all over a piece of paper. There we go. I think that's fine. Isn't that pretty? And this is I love this designer series paper pack. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put a portion of this, and this stamp you can see has a curlicue down here at the end, and then sort of two sides that appear. I'm going to take some of that excess ink off the corner. I don't want any edges on my stamping, but I thought I would use this square corner here to come in on the base of this card for the inside, and put a flourish down here, and maybe put one smaller one up here on the top. Isn't that pretty? So that'll be the inside of our card, and then we need a little happy birthday, and I have a little happy birthday mounted here. It's a photopolymer happy birthday, very simple, and right now I can't remember where this came from, but I will make sure that it's in the description below. So I'm going to put this happy birthday here, and then using the smallest of our oval framelets, and it just fits, I am going to cut this happy birthday out, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. So I stamped my happy birthday and cut it out of the Very Vanilla, and then I also cut a piece of the Elegant Eggplant that I want to go behind this, just to give a little added interest in the way it looks. So let's bring back in our card pieces. One of the advantages of doing a clean and simple card is that there's very few elements to it. And like I said, if it's still got enough impact, then I think it's okay. It's really, they're very easy cards to put together. So let me start by putting my interior piece in. Get my silicone mat here and get some glue on the back of this piece and put that into place. I love this color combination. I think it is just so pretty. There we go. And then I am going to place this piece here. And what I'm going to do is show you on this doily. What I'm going to do is just, let me show it on the back of this so you can see what I'm doing. And you just pick two opposite components, and I'm literally going to cut right down the middle. And some of these components are very narrow, but if you're cautious and you take your time, you can cut right through the pieces so that you end up with a piece that hangs together pretty well. So that's what's going to go on the front of our card. So I'll end up with a piece that looks a little bit like this. And I'm just going to use, like I said, the debossed side of this to come across here. Now the other component that I'm using here is I'm using this same ribbon. And let's see, here's my ribbon. So I need a piece that is, I want to make sure I really can anchor that on the back. So I'm using a piece that's about 6 inches long. And then I'll need a piece to make a bow. And what I'm going to do is put that across here, use this, and do a few little embellishments, and I think you'll see that this will come together pretty well. So what I'm going to do is put some glue on the back side of this small embossed piece here. And I'm putting lots of glue. And then I'm going to take this ribbon and I am going to add glue all along the ribbon itself so that it will both stay put when I stick it on the back here, but it will also stick down nicely on the front of this piece as well. And see, that was probably cut a little bit big, but I'd rather have it be that way than too short. So I'm going to add some additional glue on there, and again, using this as my guide, I would like to have my, let me move this so you can see, add my happy birthday so that it shows above this piece, and then this piece comes along the bottom here. So in order to do that, I need to glue these two pieces together. So I'm going to add some glue to the back of this, and then this I'm just going to offset just so that I get a little rim of the purple above. And I'm not raising that on dimensionals, I'm just putting it flat. And I know that I want it to be right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in place. Now, I'd like to do it straight. Let's see if I can get that. With all the angles, it's hard to get straight figured out. That seems straight to me. Now, on this, because it's going on a piece that is raised and embossed, I'm going to use fuse on the back of this because I don't want this going anywhere. I want it to stick down and stay put. So I'm going to use fuse on the back of this piece and use plenty of it so that it stays put. So what I'm going to do is line up this piece along this edge and along the top edge, and then press it into place. Now, my happy birthday should be right where I want it. And again, I'm going to use this upside down to gauge where I want this piece. And I want this piece right here, just about, it might be a little bit more than maybe 3/8 of an inch from the bottom here for this centerpiece. And so what I'm going to do is use a little Tombow on this piece because there's plenty of surface here. So see if I can get my Tombow going. There it goes. And so what I'm going to do is dot in place, and I'm interested in getting glue particularly on these little edges so that this sticks down. And there's a couple of places in here. Isn't that interesting? I see a place that didn't cut out on this doily. I'll just pull that out of the way and continue to dot a little bit of glue in some of the places that are a little wider here. And then I'll use my tweezers. We decided about 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. So I'll put that in place. And I'm going to hold that down for just a second to give Tombow a chance to get its grip. Then this piece should fit in here just the way I'd want it. Being careful to get that across. Then we need a small bow. And let's see, This ribbon, by the way, is the one from Celebration that you can get for free when you put in a $50 order. And it's, the pictures in the catalog do not do it justice. It is absolutely gorgeous. And frankly, it's very easy to tie. Very, very easy. It's got quite a bit of body and stays pulled together pretty well. So there's my bow. Is that too big? Yeah, maybe a little. I'll shrink it down just a bit. And then cut off my tails. And I'll use a couple of glue dots to get that down. And so I'll put a glue dot right on the knot. That might be enough. And put that into place, you know, just to be safe. I'm going to add a couple of glue dots to the back side of both parts of the bow, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I'm always worried that after it gets jostled around in the mail, if you're putting it in the mail, that it might come apart. So there we go. That's down firmly now. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so you see the difference. I mean, doesn't this already look so much different than this one? And yet it's exactly the same design. And in this case, I have some largest of the rhinestones that I want to put into place, and I thought I would just pick a few places on the inside of the curl of a couple of these flourishes, just to add a little something, make it look a little bit more finished, and maybe put, the eye has a tendency to like odd numbers, so some of these had 4, well, I guess those all had even numbers, but just so that they're randomly placed around the card, so that your design looks balanced. And I'm thinking maybe one right in there. And there we have it. There is today's project. This one I made Happy Birthday with this inside, and this one I show because it's the opposite direction, was a thank you, and I didn't put an extra piece because this is done on smoky slate so you can see your sentiment if you write. I put 3 of the little gray flowers. So there you have it, the project for today. And thanks so much for stopping by and visiting my YouTube channel today. And thank you, Lisa Curcio, for this wonderful idea. I just love this piece. And I love the idea that it's the entire front panel of the card that is embossed. I think that's just a little bit different. And you know me, I love different. So all of the materials for this can be purchased on my website, www.lbedinger.stampinup.net, and this month's prize draw is a Stampin Scrub, which is the cleaner, the physical scrub cleaner, and the cleaning solution, and then the StazOn Cleaner. And so anybody that puts an order with me of $25 or more is automatically entered into the prize draw. And, well, actually, anybody that orders through me for any amount is put into the prize draw. For $25 or more, at the end of the month, I send a thank you card. And in fact, these are my February thank you cards to the people that placed orders with me for $25 or more. And then you get a product gift from me or a handmade gift from me. So once again, thanks for stopping by and watching my video. And until next time, bye.